You can control everything and still feel out of control. That's the paradox that haunts so many of us. You plan, you schedule, you anticipate. You line up your days like soldiers on parade. Neat, disciplined, accounted for. On the outside, it looks like order. On the inside, it feels like suffocation. Because no matter how tightly you grip, the world still shifts. A phone call interrupts, a child falls sick. The weather changes, a heart changes. And suddenly, all the control you thought would steady you becomes another kind of burden. I remember mornings when I woke already tense before the day had even begun. My body carried the weight of expectation, emails to answer, meals to plan, conversations to navigate, feelings to avoid. I'd sit at the table with my tea, the steam rising, and already I was writing the day into rules. There was no space for surprise, no room for softness. Every corner of time had to be managed, controlled, held tightly. And by nightfall, it wasn't the work itself that drained me, it was the grip. Stephen once told me, I micromanage everything. Work, family, even my parents' needs. I convince myself it's safe, but the truth is, I feel like if I let go for even a second, everything will fall apart. Angela, from the other edge, admitted, I avoid control altogether. I let life spin and tell myself I'm free, but I end up exhausted anyway because chaos is just another kind of cage. Their voices remind me of what I've known in my own body. Exhaustion doesn't come only from work. It comes from gripping too hard. The tiredness of control is a peculiar kind of fatigue. It seeps deeper than physical exhaustion. It stiffens your chest, tightens your jaw, narrows your eyes. You live as though braced for impact, and no matter how much you plan, the impact still comes. Control promises peace but delivers fatigue. I remember the years when my planner was my Bible. Every page filled, every line accounted for. Appointments stacked, goals set, tasks numbered. Even leisure became a rule, a box to tick, a slot to fill. Rest, penciled in between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. Call a friend at 7:15. Walk outside, listed with the same weight as submit report. I thought order would keep me steady. Instead, it drained the joy from everything. I would flip through the pages and see a life perfectly structured yet hollow. Birthdays reduced to reminders. Conversations reduced to tasks. Even love became another line in ink. And somewhere along the way, I forgot how to live without a script. Stephen once sighed, I have to control every detail. My kids' schedules, my parents' appointments, my own work. If I don't, I feel unsafe. But even when I do, I'm still terrified I'll miss something. Angela admitted, I swing the other way. I refuse control. I avoid structure. But then the chaos exhausts me, because without some kind of anchor, I feel like I'm drowning. Both their words mirror what I saw in those old planners. Control at one extreme, avoidance at the other. Both left me weary. The contradiction is this. Control promises peace, but delivers fatigue. Chaos promises freedom, but delivers the same. Exhaustion is not the proof of doing too much. It is the cost of gripping too tightly or of refusing to hold anything at all. The tighter you grip, the faster life slips. That was the lesson my planner taught me, line by line. Exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much, but from gripping too hard. I've written that line into journals, margins, even scraps of paper tucked into books. It's the reminder I return to when I feel the old urge to plan every hour, to control every outcome, because I've lived long enough to see that the weight doesn't come from the work itself. It comes from the grip. I once came across the image of a clenched fist. Hold your hand open underwater and it gathers. Cup your palm and it holds. But clench your fist too tightly and the water slips out. The harder you try to contain it, the less you have. That is control. The tighter you hold, the less you can carry. Stephen once asked me, have you ever micromanaged every detail and still felt unsafe? His eyes carried the exhaustion of someone who has lived too long in that posture, jaw clenched, fist closed, shoulders tight. Angela once whispered, I avoid control, but the chaos drains me just as much. I thought freedom would give me energy. Instead, I'm tired in a different way. Their words remind me that both extremes, gripping too tight or not holding at all, lead us to the same fatigue. I've scribbled another line in my journal. Control is heavy. Presence is light. It unsettles me each time because I know how often I choose heaviness over lightness. The detour is this. Letting go a little doesn't lose life, it gives it back. So I ask myself often, what am I gripping so tightly that it's slipping through my hands anyway? And what would it feel like to loosen my fist, even just enough to breathe? A clenched fist can't hold water. I tested this once by accident. I was standing at the sink, water running cool and steady across my hand. When I held my palm open, the water pooled gently, light shimmering in the curve of my skin. When I cupped it loosely, I could carry some of it, enough to splash my face, enough to sip. But when I clenched my fist, tightening every muscle as though to trap it, the water slipped out instantly. The tighter I gripped, the less I held. The image has stayed with me because it is the perfect mirror of how I've lived. I've clenched so many parts of my life, work schedules, relationships, expectations, convinced that the harder I held on, the more secure I would feel. All it did was exhaust me. Like the water, life slipped through anyway, leaving my hand tired and empty. Stephen once said to me, I grip every detail, the bills, the chores, the responsibilities. I tell myself it's safety, but even when I control it all, I'm still tired, still anxious, still afraid. Angela gave me the other edge. I avoid control. I let things spin. But chaos wears me out too. It's like the exhaustion of having no anchor. That night at the sink, I stayed longer than I meant to, watching the water slip and scatter against porcelain. I realized then that peace doesn't come from gripping harder. It comes from loosening enough to hold what matters without crushing it. Control promises peace but delivers fatigue. Stephen's voice echoes this truth. I micromanage every day, every task, every choice, but I'm still exhausted. I don't think I've ever felt safe, even with all the control I try to build. Angela offers the mirror from the other side. I run from control, but the mess drains me just as much. I thought freedom meant energy, but it feels like chaos pulling me apart. Both their words bring me back to my own planners, filled with rules, to my fists clenched at the sink. Both extremes lead to the same place, exhaustion. The detour is gentler than I expected. Letting go a little doesn't lose life. It gives it back. I've written in my journal, exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much, but from gripping too hard. The paradox is that loosening the grip doesn't invite collapse. It invites breath. When you stop trying to script every outcome, you discover space for joy, for surprise, for presence. When you stop clenching, you realize how much life is still willing to stay, cupped gently in your open palm. So I ask myself often, what am I gripping right now that would be safer if I held it more loosely? And what would it feel like to trust that life won't vanish the moment I let go? Peace isn't holding on harder. It's breathing with what is. The truth rests with me tonight as I sit in the quiet of my room. I think of the planners I filled with rules that drained joy from living. I think of my fist clenched under water, holding nothing but fatigue. I think of Stephen gripping his family's safety so tightly he can't rest, and Angela refusing grip altogether but collapsing under chaos. Their voices and mine circle the same paradox. Control is exhausting not because it fails, but because it promises peace while draining it. For so long I believed control was the path to peace. If I could just hold everything tightly enough, anticipate every possibility, prevent every surprise, then life would feel safe. But the truth is harder. The tighter I clench, the emptier I become. Control does not calm me, it drains me. Grip does not give life, it only strangles it. The ache for control still returns. There are mornings when I feel the urge to script every moment of the day, mapping out each hour as though certainty could silence fear. There are afternoons when anxiety drives me to manage every detail, even the ones that were never mine to carry. There are evenings when I mistake control for safety, only to discover that safety was never in my grip at all. That ache is real, but now, when it rises, I pause, I let my hands loosen even slightly. I remind myself, letting go a little doesn't mean losing life. It means giving it back. I remember keeping planners so detailed that they became cages, every box checked, every line filled, every task completed, and yet joy had no space left to breathe. The paradox revealed itself. In clinging to control, I lost the very peace I was chasing. It was only when I allowed gaps, interruptions, detours that I found space for wonder to return. The road curves forward, steady but unseen. I cannot script its bends, cannot dictate what waits beyond them. And maybe I was never meant to. Peace isn't found in the fist. It is found in the breath that comes when the fist finally opens. So I've been thinking, maybe the only control worth keeping is the choice to let go.